I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're good and educated about the show, then you click on that merchandise tab. That's going to take you directly to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, and our special event logo t-shirts, of which we do have very many of them. We also have all of the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck: socks, wall art, throw pillow, bed sets, all of it in our online store. We do appreciate each and every one of you for picking up some merchandise, especially the recent purchases we've sold out, so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation, and we sure would appreciate some support and some help on the following. You can give us a follow on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can follow our behind-the-scenes live stream on Twitch. You can, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Renegades of Puck, and watch our ROP TV right there, every new episode. And you can also find the podcast on a number of different audio platforms, including Google, Stitcher, Spotify, and several others. Just search Renegades of Puck on your preferred and favorite platform. Venmo is how you can become a partner for the Renegades of Puck, and we sure do appreciate all of the support through that venture. Thank you so much. Stick taps, love, and respect. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you watching and listening right now. We've been able to make significant upgrades to the bunker, whether it's the lights, the camera, the microphone itself, or the computer behind the scenes. We have been able to make significant upgrades, and our ambitions are very, very big for some projects upcoming. So please, anything you can do to help support us, we sure would appreciate it. Even $1 goes a long way, and everything goes directly to benefiting the Renegades of Puck exclusively. Sure to appreciate each and every one of you. Home Base Freakout is now under 2 weeks away, so make sure it is on your calendar. Make sure you are passing the intel along to your Renegades out there in your community. It is going to take place at Tailgate Brewery Music Row on March the 24th. It's going to be an incredible weekend here of hockey, and we are going to have an opportunity to celebrate the hockey community. On Thursday night before Home Base Freakout, the Seattle Kraken will be in town. On Saturday afternoon, the Pecorine statue unveiling, and then the Nashville Predators will take on the Seattle Kraken. And on Sunday, the Predators will face off against the Maple Leafs. So Friday night is a perfect opportunity right in the middle of 3 games and a big ceremony for the Nashville Predators to come on down and hang out with the rest of the hockey community. Tailgate Brewery Music Row. We're going to have a great time that night. We're going to have prizes, giveaways, special guests, VIPs, all the stuff you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. We can't wait. All ages, no cover. We can't wait to open the doors and welcome all of you in. So please make sure you put that on the calendar. March the 24th at Tailgate Brewery on Music Row. It is Home Base Freakout, too. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 727. Yep, it's up there. Operation 727 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 727. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. 63 games skated is the least amount of games skated within the Central Division. Overall record of 32-24-7. The Predators have 71 points on the season. On the road, the Predators have a record of 16-13-4, 181 goals for 185 goals against. That means a goal differential of -5. Now, a couple of races to update as far as standings go. First, let's go Central Division, then we'll talk about the wild card. In the Central Division, it is the Dallas Stars still leading the way with 85 points. The Minnesota Wild just 2 points behind with 83. They have skated in the same number of games. The Colorado Avalanche find themselves in 3rd place with 78 points. They've skated in 64 games. The Winnipeg Jets have skated in 66 games. That is tied for the most in the division. They have 77 points at this time and are in 4th place. Preds find themselves in 5th place at 71 points. Then St. Louis at 63, Arizona at 57, and Chicago at 50. Now, for the Nashville Predators. They find themselves 7 points behind third in the Central Division. Winnipeg is ahead of them in fourth, so they would have to overclimb Winnipeg and catch up to Colorado for an automatic qualifying playoff spot in the Central Division. Of course, 1, 2, and 3 in the division will go to the playoffs, and there are 2 wild card teams. So for the Nashville Predators, currently 7 points behind the Avalanche for the third spot in the Central Division. Now, when it comes to the wild card, Edmonton is leading in the 1 spot with 80 points. Winnipeg has 77 points, and then there's the Nashville Predators with 71. Calgary also has 71 points, but the Preds hold the tiebreakers at this moment in time over the Calgary Flames. So the Predators are the first team out of the playoff picture at this point and 6 points behind the Winnipeg Jets, but the Predators have skated in 3 fewer games than the Winnipeg Jets, so 3 games, 6 points. If the Nashville Predators are able to win those 3 games, making up the difference, they are statistically tied at this time. So the Preds are definitely within reach of the second wild card spot at this moment in time. Now, that takes care of the standings. The Nashville Predators' next opponent will be the final stop on the lengthy 6-game road trip. After this road trip wraps up Tuesday, back at Bridgestone Arena, finally after the SEC tournament wraps up and they clean up after the weekend that was truly a tremendous success here for the Nashville sports community. But now the Nashville Predators get to come on back home to their home residency. They'll face off against old rival, the Detroit Red Wings, on Tuesday night. Thursday night, the Blackhawks will be in town. Saturday, the Winnipeg Jets will be in town, but no time to celebrate that one because the Nashville Predators turn around immediately and on Sunday are at Madison Square Garden to face off against the New York Rangers. So another incredibly busy week for the Preds coming up. On the 21st of March, Preds will be in Buffalo, so from Madison Square Garden to Buffalo to take on the Sabres. Now, the next opponent for the Preds is the Anaheim Ducks. It's the Preds' third of 3 final meetings between the regular season between these 2 teams. Let's go all the way back and recap the season series. It was November the 29th when the Preds scored a 2-1 victory versus the Anaheim Ducks at Bridgestone Arena. That came in overtime. It was Yossi and Sissons scoring the goals. Duchesne 2 assists, Saros 34-35, and the victory. The Preds made easy work out of Anaheim on the 30th of December, the day before New Year's Eve. It was a back-to-back leading into New Year's Eve. Anaheim only scored 1 goal. The Preds scored 6, so 6-1 in favor of the Preds. Forsberg a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Parson and 2 assists. Saros the victory in that one, 26 out of 27. And we know that UC Saros will get his 3rd start of the season, already 2-0 against the Anaheim Ducks. He'll get his 3rd start because Lankinen, and we'll talk about his performance upcoming, got the start on the first night of back-to-backs. So I've mentioned the Anaheim Ducks in the season series. Let's talk about the Anaheim Ducks overall and their season. It has not been very good. 22, 35, and 9 is their record. 53 points is good for 7th in the Pacific. On home ice, 11, 16, and 2. And they have a goal differential of minus 98. Minus 98. We go all the way back to March the 1st and recap the last 5 games for the Anaheim Ducks. On the 1st of March, it was a 3-2 overtime loss versus the Washington Capitals. Followed that up on the 3rd with a 3-2 win versus the Montreal Canadiens. On the 7th, a 5-2 loss at Seattle. The 8th of March, a 3-2 overtime loss at Vancouver. On the 10th of March, their most recent game, a 3-2 win at Calgary. Gibson got the start, picked up the victory, 36 out of 37. So that actually was very beneficial to the Nashville Predators in the wild card race, and the reason why the Nashville Predators are currently ahead of the Calgary Flames. Taking a look inside the rankings in the matchup between the Preds and the Ducks, when it comes to these statistical metrics, not a lot of attractive numbers to see here. Goals for the Nashville Predators, 2.81, 25th overall in the league. That is ahead in this particular matchup between these 2 teams. The Ducks are averaging 2.5 goals per game. That is 31st, 1 spot from last in the NHL. In the goals against category, the Nashville Predators are 2.90. They are 12th overall in the league. In the goals against category for Anaheim, 3.98 per game, 3.98. That is 32nd, dead last in the National Hockey League. Shots on nets, Preds are generating 30.6 per game. That's 19th best in the league. The Anaheim Ducks are generating 28.8 shots per game on net. That is 29th overall in the league. In the shots against category, the Nashville Predators are 26th overall, giving up 33.5 per game, while Anaheim is giving up an even bigger number, 39.2 shots against per game. That is 32nd, again, last in the NHL. The special teams, power play. The Preds having the 25th rated power play. It's rare that we get to talk about the Preds having a power play that is better than their opponents, but in this particular matchup, it is. 18.8% conversion on the season, while the Anaheim Ducks converting at 16% of the season is 30th in the NHL, and the Anaheim Ducks have only scored 30 power play goals on 187 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Anaheim Ducks are also 30th, so 30th in both special teams. 73.2% is their kill rate. They have given up 60 power play goals against on the season. Nashville Predators, a very good and bright spot for this team post All-Star break. The Nashville Predators penalty kill is now surged to 11th overall in the NHL. 81.6% kill rate, 39 power play goals against, and the success that they've been having during this rebuild time with the youth in the lineup and on this lengthy road trip, a lot of the success can be attributed to the strong penalty kill that they've been putting up night in and night out. Injuries are a problem for this Nashville Predators team at this time of year. Forsberg still listed as day-to-day, and it's already been confirmed he is not going to get into the lineup in Anaheim. It is also said the same for Parson, listed as day-to-day, but probably not in the lineup for Anaheim. McDonough, I put a question mark next to his name. He left the game after taking yet another block shot high to the head area. Do not know the update on McDonough's status for tomorrow. Of course, Ryan Johansson is on injured reserve, out for the rest of the season. Carrier is also out for about another month, and there are others that are on. The Nashville Predators are suddenly piling up the injuries. Now, talking about statistics, every team in the NHL has high-skilled individuals. There's no doubt about that, and there are plenty in this game. Despite the records, despite the rankings and the statistical metrics, there are still some incredibly fun players to watch in this matchup. And with the Predators going to the new youth movement, there's certainly a youth tint to this game. Let's talk about the home team, the Anaheim Ducks, first. Zegras, easily one of the most fun young players to watch in the league. If he was on a better team, he would get a lot more television time. 21 goals, 34 assists, 55 points. That leads the Anaheim Ducks in all three of those categories. Terry, 18 goals, 30 assists for 48 points. McTavish, 14 and 24 for 38. Fowler, 9 and 29 for 38. And Henrique, 19 goals, 14 assists for 33 points. In net, John Gibson, always tough regardless of the record for the team. 14, 24, and 7. A 904 save percentage, 3.82 goals against average, and Gibson just defeated the Calgary Flames in Calgary with a big 36 of 37 performance in the last game for the Anaheim Ducks. So you cannot underrate the level of performance that John Gibson can put up on an individual night against you. Cannot take him lightly. For the Nashville Predators, taking a look at their stats, Roman Josi still leads the team in scoring, as he probably will through the end of the season. 17 goals, 39 assists. 39 assists represents number one overall on the team. 56 points, also best on the team. Matt Duchene's 19 goals is tied with Philip Forsberg for first on the team. Matt Duchene also has 32 assists for 51 points. Philip Forsberg still lists as day-to-day, out injured, 19 goals, 23 assists, 42 points, still third best on the team. Glass, 9 goals and 17 assists for 26 points. Tommy Novak now with 10 goals and 14 assists for 24 points. I'm going to give you the netminders stats for both of the goaltenders for the Nashville Predators. Since Lankinen got the start in the first night of back-to-backs, UC Saros will get the second night. Lankinen now 8-5-1 on the season, a 9.25 save percentage, a 2.46 goals against average, and he has been a very important piece to this Nashville Predators, solidifying that backup goaltending position, and still young enough to make quite the impact on this franchise, perhaps moving forward. UC Saros going to get the start against the Anaheim Ducks. He's started both games against the Ducks already this season. He's 2-0 against Anaheim on the season, 24-18-6, a 9.17 save percentage, a 2.76 goals against average. Quick turnaround for the Nashville Predators. They had to go extra time, even beyond that, for the first game in LA of this back-to-back on the road trip over this weekend to close out a 6-game road trip, an incredible amount of miles, and it all culminates in one final game at the back end of back-to-backs over this long weekend. LA and Saturday night and Anaheim on Sunday night. Let's go back, though. Let's talk about everything that happened in L.A. Then we'll do some analysis and we'll get you all out the door and ready to watch that game against the Anaheim Ducks. That gets you all set up now. Let's turn it to the Rebirth Sports full game recap. That's coming up next.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to March 11th of the year 2023. The Nashville Preds were in Los Angeles to take on the Kings, and John Hines deploys his lines in the following way. Tomasino, Glass, and Duchesne make up your first line. Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista. Trennan, Sissons, and Smith are your third line. Afanaseyev making his NHL debut. Recent call-up from the Milwaukee Admirals. Jankowski and McCarron round out the fourth line. Yossi and Favreau, McDonough and Barry, Luzon and Foote make up your defensive pairings. And Kevin Lankinen gets the start on the first night of back-to-backs for the Nashville Preds. Game 5 of 6 on the road trip, and the final game of the regular season between the Nashville Preds and the LA Kings. 27 seconds into the game, and it's Copley coming with a save on Yossi's long shot. First shot on goal of the game, and then at 1:45, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on Deneau. That's the first shot on net for the LA Kings. 4:38, Deneau right back to work. His shot's blocked by Tomasino, sending it just wide of the post. A dangerous early scoring chance for the LA Kings. 8:19 into the first period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Deneau's backhand off of the rush at the top of the crease in the first several minutes of this game. Deneau was by far the standout and most notable player of anyone on the ice for either of the teams. 9:02 in the first period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Roy, but 9:32, Anderson comes up with his fourth goal of the season, giving LA the 1-0 lead in this game. He crashes the slot and unleashes a pretty strong snipe right there. Luke Evangelista overcommitted to the other side of the slot, looking to help out on defense, leaving some open ice area. And when it comes to the NHL level, that's all it takes. The defenseman recognize it, crashing hard to the slot and getting that pass. What a great opportunity right here. And the LA Kings put the puck in the net with Anderson scoring. 1-0 in favor of LA. 12:23 into the first period. Favreau's off the box. 2 minutes for roughing. The Nashville Predators penalty kill led by Smith and Sissons led to 0 shots on goal for the LA Kings. Just absolutely incredible PK work here early in the game. 17:25 of the first period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Arvidsson. 17:58. Copley comes up with a save on Afanaseyev's backhand at close range. At 19 minutes of the first period, Iafallo off the box. 2 minutes for tripping in. Tommy Novak wastes no time. 4 seconds into the power play. Tommy Novak's 10th goal of the season ties the game up at 1 apiece. It was a wrist shot from high through traffic. He delayed and held up just long enough to make sure that there was layered traffic right here. Rips a solid wrist shot into the net. His 10th of the season ties the game up at 1 apiece. We hit the end of the first period, and somehow at the end of the first period, the Nashville Predators find themselves tied in shots on goal at 10 apiece and tied in the game at 1 apiece when the Nashville Predators looked like in the first 9 minutes or so they were going to be run out of the rink. Shots on goal at one point were 9-2 in the first period in favor of LA. We roll over to the second period. We're 1:16 into the clean sheet. Copley's coming up with a save on Yossi's one-timer. 2:04 into the second period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Deneau on the doorstep, plus his rebound jam. 4:20 of the second. Yossi, 2 minutes for holding. He's off to the box. 0 shots on goal for the LA Kings because of the incredible and outstanding penalty kill work by the Nashville Preds. This is the second power play for the Kings in this game where they have not been able to generate a single shot on net. 10:59 of the second period. Copley comes up with a save on Duchesne off of the rush. 13:23. Lankinen save on Arvidsson. The puck squeaks through and out from the side of the net. Another shot opportunity by Deneau. Sharp angle, but a glorious scoring opportunity has to be turned aside by Lankinen. 11:55 of the second period. Copley comes up with a save on Novak off of the rush. Sherwood cannot put the rebound in. It goes up over the top. Maybe trying to be too fine. Maybe there wasn't really that much room there in the first place. 17:08 of the second. Copley comes with a save on Trennan. We hit the end of the second period. Relatively low event second period. Preds end up with 8 shots on goal in the period. The Kings with 6 shots on goal in the second period. 18-16 overall now for the game. Into the third period, 53 seconds in. Lankinen comes up with a save on Byfield's long shot through traffic. 5:09. Lankinen comes up with a save on Arvidsson off of the rush. Surprised he didn't just pull up and take a slap shot from the top of the circle. 5:53 of the third period. Roy off to the box. 2 minutes for boarding on Luke Evangelista. Sherwood comes in defending his teammate. Picks up a penalty. 2 minutes for roughing on Roy. This leads to a 4-on-4 scenario, but before we move on to that, I want to go back to the hit on Evangelista. Evangelista was shaken up, but did return to the game, so everything's fine, but it was a nasty looking, hard, heavy hit. Definitely penalty worthy. Sherwood stepped in just to kind of calm things down and ends up picking up a roughing penalty. 4-on-4 situation. Copley comes up with the biggest save of that exchange, and that comes on Tomasino from the top of the face-off circle. 11:22 of the third period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Arvidsson yet again at 13:20. Kempe off the box. 2 minutes for roughing. And the Nashville Preds, who have not had much offense in the third period, get their most significant push of the game coming up right here. Copley comes up with a save on Yossi's one-timer. This was his best save of the game, but he was just getting warmed up because he comes up with another save on Trennan plus the rebound jam and scramble, then comes up with another save on Afanasyev, and then comes up with another save on Fabro. 5 total saves for Copley on this power play by the Nashville Predators after the Preds had generated virtually 0 offense, maybe 2 shots on goal up to this point in the period. The Nashville Predators, though, unable to break Copley. 17:23. Trennan's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Lankinen would come up with a huge save on Iafallo, so it took till the Kings' third power play to pick up a shot on goal, and it comes near the end of the third period. Preds penalty kill comes through in a huge way right here. 19:37. McDonough is hit by a deflected shot. It hit Trennan's stick and then ramps up into, of course, McDonough's head area. He leaves the game immediately. He left under his own power, went to the locker room under his own power. No update afterwards, but he did not return. There was only 23 seconds left in regulation at this point. I hope he's okay. This has happened at least 3 times to him now this season. We hit the end of regulation. These two teams are tied at 1 apiece. And for the Nashville Predators, picking up points is of critical importance. Picking up a point against one of the best teams in the conference on the road at the end of a long road trip is of significant importance. The Nashville Predators do end up out shooting the LA Kings for regulation, 25-24. So the Preds, after only having 2 shots on goal for the majority of the period, pick up 5 shots on goal on the power play and then do not get any more shots the rest of the way, but still generate 7 shots on goal for the period. We go into the overtime session. I got to tell you, this is about to be some pretty exciting 3-on-3 hockey, back and forth, just like they hope it will be. 41 seconds in, Copley comes up with a save on Duchesne. 50 seconds in, Lankinen comes up with a save on Kopitar. 156, Copley a save on Sherwood. 342, Lankinen a save on Kempe. 431, Lankinen a save on Walker. And 459, Copley comes up with a save on Tomasino at the buzzer. This was intense 3-on-3 action for a full 5 minutes, back and forth. Very few stoppages. It was a lot of fun. The crowd was really buzzing. And the Nashville Predators end up with 6 shots on goal in the 5-minute overtime. And they end up out shooting LA for the game in total, 31-27. So LA 3 shots on goal in the overtime. So 6-3 were the shots on goal in the 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime session. The goaltenders were excellent out there. We go to the shootout for the Nashville Predators, and it's Matt Duchesne going double clutch 5-hole and beating Copley, and then Lankinen just goes to work and shuts things down. He goes 3 out of 3 in this game, and the Nashville Predators pick up the extra point, securing the victory in the shootout. 2-1 is the final for the game. Lankinen comes through huge. Duchesne in the shootout and in the game itself. It was the Nashville Predators just finding a way to hang in against a very good, very strong, very fast LA Kings team. That LA Kings team, before we move on from the game, is going to be a very tough out, I think, in the Western Conference playoff bracket this year. They have some areas that they can improve, sure, but I think everybody right now looking ahead at the playoff bracket as it's starting to kind of develop is looking ahead at when is Vegas and LA going to end up meeting each other in that bracket. After all, Jonathan Quick is now the starting goaltender of the Vegas Golden Knights, and the LA Kings are competing with them directly for not only first in the Pacific, but first overall in the Western Conference. It's getting very exciting. It's that time of year. We're now into March. All of these points matter, and that's where Predators find a way to pick up 2 against a very, very strong LA Kings team in the shootout. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got full analysis, box score, stats, opinions, all of that coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah!
Lankinen, 26 of 27 in this game, gets the first start on the back-to-back weekend. 3 of 3 in the shootout end. He held the team in it early. 9-2 was the shot disparity in the first 9 minutes of this game in favor of the home team, LA Kings. The Kings were absolutely buzzing. They got an early power play. They got an early goal, but it was Lankinen that was back there just holding the team in it. It wasn't the most high shot volume or workload after that, but early on, Lankinen definitely is what kept the Nashville Predators in this game. Another tremendous performance, and I mentioned it earlier. He is a great benefit to this Nashville Predators franchise. No doubt, UC Saros is the starting netminder, and there is an heir apparent in Milwaukee right now. We all know Yaroslav Askarov is coming along at some point, but you need a competent professional backup, and Kevin Lankinen is proving that if called upon, he can get you a big-time performance and win games on the road against significant competition. This was a tremendous game, and Lankinen now an 8-5-1 record on the season, a .925 save percentage, a 2.46 goals against average. Good thing the Nashville Predators already have him locked up for next season, because those types of numbers as a backup certainly start to draw interest around the rest of the league from GMs, and they should. Lankinen's been playing very, very good hockey for this Nashville Predators team. Tommy Novak picks up the goal in regulation. I wanted to talk about it being a high IQ play because the observation is after the faceoff is won, he delays, pulls the puck towards the middle to utilize layers of traffic, and fires a very good, accurate wrist shot. Tommy Novak continues to show that he has very good high hockey IQ. He knows where to go. He knows where to be. His passing is excellent, and Tommy Novak is really rounding into a professional every night player in the NHL, and he's doing it very quickly. This was a great play, and it's one to go back and really dissect and take a good look under the microscope at. A lot of fun to watch that one. Matt Duchene, the game-winning goal in the shootout. 2012 total time on ice. That led all the forwards. 4 shots on goal also led all of the forwards. Matt Duchene had an opportunity in the game to score 1, if not 2, different times. Just seemed like he was snake-bit a little bit, but not when it comes to the shootout session. That double clutch was one hell of a move. Opened up the 5-hole, froze the netminder Copley, and he went ahead and won that game for the Nashville Predators. Yes, Lankinen got the job done on the other end. 3 out of 3, but Matt Duchene's slick move right there with the double clutch, that went ahead and froze Copley, and he picks up that winner, leads the team in time on ice as far as forwards go, leads the forwards in shots on goal. You need veterans like Matt Duchene to step up down the stretch right here if the Nashville Predators are going to continue making a run at a playoff spot. After Nesayev makes his NHL debut tonight, 2 shots on goal, 8:24 time on ice, and he's big, he's strong, and he's very green. He is not quite ready to be here at this level yet, but man, there is so much raw potential with him. And for the Nashville Predators, the best thing right now for him is that he's been getting big minutes down in Milwaukee with all of the Admiral call-ups here in Nashville. He's been getting big-time minutes. He's been performing at a very high level with the Milwaukee Admirals. He's going to end up back in Milwaukee very quickly once the Nashville Predators get anyone back from injury, and you can absolutely expect he's going to continue developing. What a fun player to watch, and congratulations to him on his NHL debut. It's been very special to watch these guys make their NHL debuts all in very close proximity to each other, whether it was part of the plan before or it's just recently become part of the plan going forward. Having all of these guys develop this chemistry together, making their debuts together, scoring their first significant milestone goals together, it is all leading towards something very positive for this Nashville Predators franchise. And I just want to mention this trio: Sherwood, Smith, Trennan. All three of them playing incredibly hard out there. They are leading with speed and physical play, and what they bring to the game, what they bring to their line mates, is definitely showing a lot more now that the Preds are a younger, faster lineup than it was when the Preds were an older, slower lineup. Cole Smith and Sherwood and Trennan are truly just out there making plays, and they are delivering the goods. It has been very enjoyable to watch each and every one of them as they continue playing incredibly hard. And you've just got to point out, and I'll talk about this again before the end of the show when we do the box score, Sherwood with 8 hits in this game. He was everywhere. He was dynamic, and they weren't just hits. They were impactful hits. They were puck dislodging hits. They were zone denying hits. They're the big time hits that you want to see. Sherwood can continue playing like that 14 minutes a night. He's going to continue getting those opportunities, and he's going to continue getting a lot of positive looks from the coaching staff. Now, McDonough, just the bad luck, man. It just continues. Next game, I don't know. I'm not sure. It looked bad. It was a deflected shot. It's the only thing I can say. That doesn't mean anything. I was hit with a deflected shot, and it knocked half the teeth out of my mouth and split my lip to the point where I needed stitches halfway up my head. Just because a shot is deflected off of another stick doesn't necessarily lessen the amount of damage it does. It all just depends on exactly where it hits, the angle it hits, and I hate it for McDonough. He's been such a strong, good player for this Preds team this year, but I think this is the third time now he's taken a shot up high, and I hope it doesn't lead to a missing time, but with the quick turnaround, less than 24 hours to go till the next game, I'm not sure of his availability, and I'm also not sure who would get the call-up and the fill-in at this point. Things are a little bit thin right now for the Preds with the amount of injuries that they are dealing with. So that gets you caught up on the analysis from this game. The Nashville Predators pick up the victory over the LA Kings in the shootout. We'll be back with the box score, the numbers, and the stats. And that's coming up next. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business. And that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Taking a look inside the box score, going to be fairly simple here. Not a lot jumping off the page. First of all, low scoring game. Second of all, low event game overall. It picked up in pace as the game went from the first to the second to the third. The overtime period, though, was by far the most exciting stretch of hockey for this entire game. And when it comes to the box score, Tommy Novak scores the only goal in regulation for the Nashville Predators. Glass is awarded the only assist on that goal. When it comes to shots on goal, it's the captain Roman Josi with 5 that led the team. Matt Duchene led the forwards with 4. When it comes to block shots, Ryan McDonough Of course, Ryan McDonough. Ryan McDonough, 5 blocked shots in this game, but unfortunately the one he wasn't trying to block is one that gets deflected up into his face and head area. Again, hope that he's all right. When it comes to the physical play in this game, it was Sherwood with 8 hits in this game. Again, big, physical, impactful, and important hits that helped the Nashville Predators to a victory tonight. Dante Fabro, need to point this out as well. Feel like he's been playing better hockey as of late. 4 hits in this game. Dante Fabro also had 2 shots on net and 2 block shots and skated 18:46 in total time on ice. And he was out there, of course, skating with the captain, Roman Josi. When it comes to time on ice, this is when we always like to add a little bit of extra emphasis on this particular statistical category when it comes to first night of back-to-backs. The Preds, no choice but to play some of their players a little bit extra considering how close the game was and, of course, considering the game went to a shootout to be decided. It was Matt Duchene who led the forwards in total time on ice in 20 minutes and 12 seconds. Sissons, second of the forwards, 19:29. There were a couple of forwards that they were able to protect and be limited. McCarron, 8:41, Afanasyev in his first ever game, 8:24 out there, and Jankowski, 11:01. So the fourth line not really contributing too much in this game, but for the most part, only one forward over 20 minutes. Not bad, conserving some legs for the Anaheim game. Now, when it comes to the defensive side of things, a little bit of a different story. The captain, Roman Josi, 27-19 overall. Ryan McDonough, 23-55, and Barry, 22-43 in this game. So for the Nashville Predators, their defense core, if McDonough can't go, might be a little thin going into this game in Anaheim. And regardless of the statistical metrics in the matchup and where we are at this point in the season, if your defense is a little bit undermanned and a little bit out of gas, it could lead to a long night against the Anaheim Ducks. But hopefully the Preds can overcome that. And of course, Lankinen to wrap up the box score, 26 out of 27, 3 out of 3 in the shootout. And he was very much incredible, especially the early portions of this game. That's going to do it for the box score. Nashville Predators secure the victory over the LA Kings 2-1 in the shootout. 1 goal in regulation. Matt Duchene picks up the shootout game winner, and the captain, Roman Josi, once again leads his squad overall. That's going to do it for the box score. That's going to do it for the stats. We'll be right back here on the Renegades of Puck podcast to wrap things up. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. For the Nashville Predators, it is simple. It's time to finish this trip. 6 games. Thousands of miles, every time zone that exists, and truly some crazy logistics going into this. You can tell the team is ready to get on home. Now listen, this happens twice a year. Every year the Nashville Predators have what we call the CMA road trip in November, and then they have the SEC basketball or tournament time or March Madness trip or whatever the hell you want to call it every year in March, where they are essentially on the road as nomads for at least 2 weeks. Well, this 2 weeks stretch finally comes to its conclusion, and you have to go back and remember this road trip. As long as it has been and felt, the Predators have had a very successful road trip. They are 3-1-1 on this road trip now through the first 5 games. They picked up 7 out of 10 points, and if they can find a way to pick up a victory against the Anaheim Ducks, they will have picked up 9 out of 12 points on this 6-game road trip, and that'll give them 75% of the points. That is a pretty incredible long road trip. No, it hasn't been perfect. You lost a game in Arizona, and that always sucks. And you dropped a shootout in Vancouver. But if you pick up this game against Anaheim, you also have victories over over Florida. You have a victory over LA and, of course, Chicago, but that was expected, so I don't want to put too much weight on that one. So the Nashville Predators finish this road trip. It's just about done. As a matter of fact, by the end of this recording, you'll only be a few hours from puck drop on the final game in Anaheim on the road trip. Then everybody will be back home Monday, and then Tuesday night a game against the Wings at Bridgestone Arena. Looking forward to seeing everybody. I feel like it's been so long. And speaking of seeing everybody on the way out the door, don't forget Home Base Freakout 2 coming up on the 24th. It's going to be a Tailgate Brewery Music Row. We did it last year, and the Renegades turned out in full force, and I cannot wait to see each and every one of you out again this year. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you know the Renegades of Puck absolutely know how to throw a party. So Home Base Freakout 2 coming up on the 24th, and we sure do appreciate our incredible and wonderful and great partners, Tailgate Brewery, Trey over at Tailgate Brewery, Liz over at Tailgate Brewery, are just wonderful people to work with. What a great team they have, and what a great team we have. Combine the two groups together, and you can see why we had such a successful event last year, and I know we're going to have a very successful event this year. And also looking forward to seeing each and every one of you out there, so come and check it out. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into the show. Appreciate every one of you for your support. Actually, let's say it this way. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your viewership. And most importantly, I appreciate you. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.